want an exposure to a market or an
Everything they need in one place.
The world's foremost authority on individuals, advisors and institutions.
Hello and welcome to this US special. I'm Emma Wall, and here with me today to give his three favoured stocks is Felix Wintle, manager of the Neptune US Opportunities Fund. Hello, Felix.
Hello, Emma.
So what's your first favoured stock?
My first favourite stock is Las Vegas Sands. Las Vegas Sands is a casino operator with a very small presence now in Las Vegas, but the major presence in Asia, particularly Macau and Singapore. And here's a stock which has just so much cash flow, it really struggles to know quite what to do with it. But what it does do with it is large stock buybacks, very big dividends and special dividends. Also, the owner is a 52% stakeholder. I met him the other day, and he's a legend of the industry. But the real story is about Macau and the Chinese propensity to gamble. They've recently expanded in Macau, got a fantastic property also in Singapore. And if one's a believer that the Chinese like to gamble, it's a fantastic stock to own. And we've owned it before for quite a long while, sold it, and we've recently bought back in.
You said that they've expanded in Macau. Anyone who doesn't know about Macau should know that it's quite a small island, so there's obviously going to be a restriction on that. Is Singapore and other Asian countries the future then?
It's a good question. So actually, you're right to bring up that capacity issue because that's a key constraint. Just briefly on Macau, they have just opened a new property on the Cotai Strip, and what's interesting about that is that over the next few years, a great deal of infrastructure is going to be built, bridges and new access routes to Cotai and Macau. But on Singapore, actually, Las Vegas Sands and one other operator have the sole licenses to run casinos in Singapore till 2020. So actually, they're very restricted there too. So that's another plus point.
And what's your second stock?
My second stock is Facebook. Everyone knows Facebook. Facebook's an interesting story though because obviously since the IPO, it hasn't really been a good stock until recently. And what changed was 2 quarters ago they showed investors that they could monetize their mobile platform. So just monetizing using Facebook on your mobile, which was always the big bear case. They did that very successfully. That quarter they had about $650 million in revenue. Analysts were expecting about 400. And we think it's going to go from strength to strength. 1.2 billion users globally, and with plenty of room to increase. I mean, obviously Facebook's not allowed in China, so if the Chinese decide to relax that, that's a huge opportunity. But also, yes, it is the social network, and I think people who use it, one of the sort of pushbacks on Facebook is, well, what about competition? Well, what about the next thing? And we're obviously always ready. We're constantly monitoring that because clearly tech does come in and out of fashion. But if you've got a user base of 1.2 billion people, that's a lot of people. And what we found is that sometimes users do take a break from Facebook, but ultimately come back because everything that is there, the whole network, all their contacts, all their photos, all their friends are there around the world. So we think that user base is going to be very, very sticky.
Sounds slightly sinister when you say it like that, but it is.
It does, doesn't it?
Everywhere.
But it is, yeah.
And what's your third stock?
My third stock is something a little bit different. It's a biotech stock. We love biotech at Neptune. We've owned biotech stocks in the fund for a long time, and this one's called Gilead Sciences. And Gilead Sciences is a very successful biotechnology company. It's now a mega cap. It's $110 billion market cap. So that makes it, what is that, about 2.5 times AstraZeneca, something like that, two times AstraZeneca. So it's a big company. And really with 2 franchises, one in HIV drugs, one in hepatitis C. And the HIV market has been one where they completely dominate. They have total market share pretty much, about 95% market share. And their drugs really work. And HIV treatment these days is really 1 pill a day. So it's come a long way from 20 years ago. And because of that great efficacy. As I say, they've really tied up the whole market. So that's a fantastic franchise, and they take pricing every year. The next big franchise is hepatitis C, which again, it perhaps strikes one as not a massive market, but it is very big, particularly in the States. They reckon, well, no one's quite sure how big the market is, but of diagnosed patients, our estimates say it's about a $10 billion opportunity. And then for the people who haven't been diagnosed, that's probably another $10 billion opportunity on top of that. And then you've got the rest of the world. So
looking at biotech as a whole, though, I used Morningstar tools the other day. Biotech has been the single most successful sector so far this year. Can that continue? Yeah,
it's a good point. It has been, and again, that's something that we're very aware of. And they won't go on forever. And at some point, there will be a time to take profits. And we actually took a little bit of profit in some of our holdings last week, but. I think we're just about, so the hepatitis C drug is actually going to launch early 2014. So we want to be in the stock for the launch and see how that goes. But you're right, I mean, at some point it's not going to go on forever, but it's been a great run thus far of about 18 months, and we're going to continue to ride it until such time as we think we've had enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emma.
This is Emma Wall from Morningstar. Thank you for watching.